Welcome to All Things Drumph, episode number 8. A special thanks and hello to all you beautiful thinking people out there. It's time for a newsworthy broadcast. But before we continue, please hit the like button and subscribe for growing content. Become a member. Crush that bell while you're at it so you miss nothing. Huge disclaimer. This channel is opinion only, but it is based on facts. No questions will be answered unless you're a subscribed member. However, suggestions are welcomed, including critical analysis. Questions to tackle here and now. Super Tuesday versus Wet Noodle Tuesday. Progressives bought the juice. Americans divided. Star Trek? Establishment picks the winner. Did Bernie miss the point? Going forward. So let's unpack this right now. We've always wondered why it's called Super Tuesday. I think we're still wondering why it should be. It seemed to me the political strategy was Wet Noodle Tuesday. The Democratic establishment had already planned for a coup against Bernie, notwithstanding that he would be the most likable candidate, he would be the least likely to be effectively attacked candidate, and he would be the one to set things right for the people of the good old US of A. Those attacks they perpetrated against Bernie in the mainstream media and on those stages and all around caused the American people to put credibility in those attacks. That Bernie just is not electable. That Bernie's just too radical. That Bernie is just not what they want. And the problem with this is it was coming from Bernie's so-called allies that he has voted with for decades. With friends like that, eh? Yeah, that's where those kind of sayings come from. So moving on. It would be fair to say that the progressives bought the juice that the establishment was selling. Mainly the story that Bernie would tank the bid for the presidency. If memory serves everyone well, it was evident that the mainstream media was in a frenzied effort to scare the American people away from his campaign. Although it would have given the media back the power that the amendment proposed. But, of course, it's the corporations who own the mainstream media, and they stood to lose greatly. Does that make any sense now? I hope going forward that the American people are watching and listening and understanding. This remains to be seen. So, moving on to my next topic. Americans are now divided more than ever. If you are a fan of the original Star Trek series, then the theme that came across loud and clear to generations was one of unity among all, triumphantly overcoming any adversity, known or unknown to man or woman. Now, they most successfully cultivated the fight against the other. Even amongst the other, they have segmented them. Remember the quote, "United we stand, and divided we fall." I believe they should have let the chips fall where they may. My next topic. Although it will be argued that the Democratic establishment did not overtly commit the same fouls as 2016, they inevitably worked very hard behind the scenes to gather their pawns in a row in a unified attack on their own rook. For those of you who don't know, the rook is a largely important piece in the game of chess. So in my opinion, the Democratic establishment brought checkers to a chess game. Next, did Bernie Sanders miss the writing on the wall? The question that would be posed, or all the questions actually, that would be posed to Bernie by the different interviewers, etc., and regardless of their sources, were always meant to trap him in previous statements without giving any context. Nothing new, right? Okay. However, his campaign should have known better. They should have anticipated this. And I think they should have equipped Bernie with the ability to give a no comment or an ambiguous kind of honest but unrevealing comment. I think he was done a disservice. Bernie is so honest that it just made sense that he would fall into those traps. And somebody should have told him. Any questions like that, the first thing you want to do is take care of all the negatives. Make sure that you address all those elephants all through the house. Then you can look at the pretty china in the cabinet. But if you bring the china out first, everybody wonders if you even saw the elephants. And that's going to leave a lasting thought and impression in minds. They knew what they were doing. They executed very well. And I really feel horrible that Bernie was too honest to see it coming. I know that affected his numbers on Wet Noodle Tuesday. So moving on. Now, I am truly not confident that democracy will continue to guide humanity in a true and peaceful manner. If this pack mentality continues to successfully derail the progressive movement, we can see by previous votes cast by his main opponent that we will continue along the paths that lead to wars in order to continue business as usual. In conclusion, the Democratic establishment will continue to hammer Bernie Sanders and apply pressures aimed at making him acquiesce and lead his people over the proverbial cliff to zero progression. In fact, it may already be a foregone conclusion that the party will now fragment and become non-viable. Leave your respectful comments. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. There will be growing content coming your way. Become a member. Crush that bell. Don't you miss another episode. Once again, good folks, I must say, never give up and never give in. And remember, keep an open mind, because knowledge is power. So do your research and be powerful. Until next time, thank you for spending time with us here on this channel.